Several people reached out to First Alert 6 about terrible living conditions at an Omaha apartment complex. Our Bella Caracta looked herself. She shows us why some are worried about the people living there and the future of the complex.
Nearly 200 apartments, one working elevator. This weekend, neither worked.
This is ridiculous.
Remy Dorch lives on the 7th floor. She says she's been dealing with a slew of issues at City View.
My handle on the sink here broke off. I used this to cut on and off the hot water.
A few months ago, she tossed all her clothes and replaced her furniture.
Bed bugs migrate, roaches migrate, rats migrate.
She bought 2 cats specifically to help with the rodent issue.
I know.
What's it been like dealing with all the problems in the apartment with your children?
Honestly, it's very how can I put it? It's very stressful.
She pays $1,100 a month. Other residents tell First Alert 6 they have sewage spilling into their sink or no hot water. The fire alarm system is down. The fire department has an inspection later this month to make sure it's fixed. The conditions at City View remind Omaha City Councilman Danny Begley of Legacy Crossing, the complex the city condemned days before Christmas in 2022.
And what are we going to do as a contingency plan in the event people have to vacate this building through no fault of their own?
Leaders with the city's planning and fire department say they don't think it'll come to that.
I expect a little pushback, as I do with most people that we deal with, but we will just keep on them to see if we can't rectify the situation.
Dutch hopes that happens soon for the sake of her children.
I don't want them to see this environment and be like, this is how we're supposed to grow up.
In Omaha, I'm Bella Caracta, First Alert 6.
First Alert 6 reached out to the management company, and we have not heard back. The city tells us there are 13 open code enforcement violations cases at City View. Most of them are plumbing issues. They say if you have a problem at your apartment, you must report it, and you cannot do it anonymously.